charismatic listeners, and welcome to the Flow of an Aquarius podcast, presented by Badstew Productions, and with your host, Panther Forte.
Welcome to episode numero 2 of the Flow of an Aquarius, where I am your Aquarius, fresh off the spaceship, here to talk my talk, and I hope you guys are ready to be entertained. So, I hope y'all guys like the first episode. It was random as hell, and this one is going to be too. The topics are going to be quite interesting. Matter of fact, I'm pretty sure the title of this episode caught your attention or caught you off guard or whatever. And we are going to discuss that because I have some shit to say, okay? I got into a conversation about that and it just popped up in my mind. So we're going to discuss that. But before we get into any of the topics, please allow me to ask, how was your day? How has your week been? Did you hydrate? Did you meditate? Did you smoke? Did you sip? Do you feel refreshed? Are you in your vibe? You in your element? You know, did you do your morning routine? Not only your day, your week, your morning, your night, whatever time and whatever you've been going through, how are you doing? How are you? You know? Because we all deal with some stuff, some more than others. I'm one of those, but yeah, we all deal with some stuff. But it dawned on me to ask these kind of questions a while ago, because this is like 3 years ago. And I'm going to just bring y'all into this real quick, right? And this has to do with me asking about the morning routines and stuff like that, if y'all took care of yourself and self-love. So I did not know that it was very rare for men to have a self-care routine or skincare routine, self-love routine, whatever it's called. And I didn't know how much of a turn on it was for women. Men, take heed. They like it. I found this out 3 years ago, and it's gonna be a quick story to start off the episode, but just follow me. Right? Take in the visual. So just 3 years ago, I was dating someone and they came over to my house early morning. I was fresh out of bed. Breath still smelled like why, and I needed to find an answer. So they're at my house that morning and they witnessed me do my morning routine. Now my morning routine I think it lasts for maybe about 2 hours. I usually spend 2 hours with myself every morning, or used to. It's hard to get into it being back here. Except for today. Today, I feel like I got back into it. I just encompassed the energy that I used to have and just brought it with me from Georgia back here. I don't know, y'all. I got my tea. I'm sipping on. I got my oatmeal that I let steep, and I'm sipping on that as well instead of eating out of a bowl. That way it gets to my body quick. I'm set up. I'm hydrated. I feel good. I done did my stretches. My 15-minute stretches. I meditated for 20 minutes. I didn't oil my skin down. I didn't brush my teeth, everything. I'm feeling back to being an entire vibe. My grown, sexy, businessman, zaddy vibe. That's how I feel right now. Anyway, back to the story. But it regulates to that, or correlates with that. So she seen me do all of that I just said that I did today. And by the end of it all, I sat down beside her, and I was surprised she was so patient. She was just observing me. And I sat down beside her and I said, okay, my bad. I just had to get all of that taken care of so that way I feel the best me, feel my best self. And she just said, oh, you're fine. There's no problem with it. And you know, I'm the first one to say I'm oblivious to a lot of things, but you know, when you turn somebody on, you can see their body language, like legs go crossed a little bit, pearls were clenched, yeah, things like that. So, men, take heed. If you don't have a skincare or self-love routine, something like that, just adapt one for yourself. Or I would suggest you adapt one for yourself. Not just for that reason, but, just to help yourself feel good. Because we typically just get up and go. We just get up and go. But take yourself, choose yourself, put yourself first. And make sure you feel good before you go out into this world each and every day. Okay. Now, I'm going to go into the first topic of discussion. And this one is one of those pet peeves, and it grinds my gears. It's just like self-inviting yourself. I don't like people who self-invite. That bothers me. Like if I say, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they're like, oh, yeah, that would be fun for us to do. Motherfucker, who is us? Who is us? Because I said me. I didn't say you. You can do that shit on your own time. Or if you go out somewhere and somebody be like, oh, well, you didn't invite me. You damn right I didn't invite you, because there was no thought of you going. When I seen this in my head, you were not there. When I visualized this and put it out into the world, you were not a part of that world and the dimension that I put this out into. So you can take a back seat, put your seatbelt on, strap in, and I will see you later. My Lord have mercy. But anyway, this part right here will talk about those who think they are the exception to your boundaries. And I say that with full intent of non-disrespectfully disrespect. And I have, this gonna be a catch, because when someone is usually saying something as a part of a collective group, I don't like being a part of a group or being part of the collective, because I'm an individual, right? But at the same time, I think about many different avenues and the fact that they could possibly including me, or they couldn't be including me. So I ask questions, right? I ask to say, hey, you're including me into that? And they say, well, typically it's not unless you feel like it fits. Perfect. Cool. At least I asked appropriately, right? The thing that gets me is when people don't ask, they just automatically interject themselves. Like they just place themselves right there as being an exception. Perfect example. If I say something like, man, I'm in a conversation and I say something like, man, this is why I don't like people who wear yellow shoes with no laces. And they have on yellow shoes with no laces. And they say, well, everybody except me. No, motherfucker, you are included into that shit. You are the prime reason why I'm stating it, because you're the only person I see with yellow shoes and no laces right now. So why would you think that you're the exception? And that goes with so many things. If I don't make it known that you're the exception, don't assume that you're the exception. Please don't. Because a lot of people know that I really don't like people. And this is an Aquarius thing, Lord. Don't like people, but I know how to speak to people. I like helping people, but I really don't like people because they get on my nerves and they give me social anxiety, right? I'd rather be with myself. But if I say I don't like people, and you could be the exception, but right before I say except you, and you say except me, I will let out the most grimacing grin and fake laugh. And you will know that you are not the exception, because you were until you just opened your flappers and peeped out whatever duck sound you wanted to make. Why did you just do that? Why did you just creature? If you didn't creature, we would not be here now, because now I feel differently about you. You are the exception and this conversation is over. That's what be flowing through my mind. Like, just if you, like, I feel like that's entitlement. I feel like that's a form of entitlement. Or is that like wishful thinking? I don't know. To me, it feels like entitlement. It's like you just automatically assume. It's perfect. Another fucking example. So this is back in 2020. I was like, I don't do pop-ups, right? I don't do pop-ups. I don't care who you are. You, my parents, you, my friends. I don't do pop-ups. If you don't announce yourself that you're coming by my house, and there's a knock on the door, I'm not expecting any guests, especially late at night, I'm grabbing the pew, and walking to the door, because too much things happen. I'm gonna look through the peephole. I ain't gonna ask who is it. I'm gonna look through the peephole and see. And if you covering the peephole, like, oh my God, I had a friend who was trying to play a joke on me, and he he came in town, and this was back in 2013, 2014. He lived in Tallahassee, and I was living in Jacksonville. He came in town, and he didn't let me know he was coming to town. And him and my other friend had popped up at my apartment. And they went around to the sliding glass door. And we were on the first floor. Me and my cousin roommate, we was on the first floor. So they slide around to the glass sliding door on the back porch. And they used their key to tap on it. And it was like tap, 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 tap. So it sounded like metal on glass, which it was. And that's all I could think about. I know how metal on glass sounds. I deal with sound and engineering. So I knew that distinct sound. I didn't expect nobody at all. So what I did was I cut off all the lights in the living room, and I waited in the hallway, and then I heard tap, 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 tap again. I said, okay. And I instinctively went full Clint Eastwood mode. In my mind, I was like,
Who's there tapping on my glass? Oh, don't worry about it, buddy. You're gonna find out. You done fucked around, now you're gonna find out. 'Cause you have the audacity to be peeping through my window. Blow, nobody now.
I said, okay. They did it twice. I went in the room, grabbed my Mossberg, my tactical Mossberg 500, walked over to where the blinds were, the sliding blinds. I loaded 3 rounds in there, and I racked it. And he was like, whoa, 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 Mike, it's us. And I was like, who the hell is us? And they said their names, and I was like, man, y'all better announce yourselves. See, that's one of those excuses. That's what you might be met with. That's what you might be met with if you don't announce yourself. So fast forward to 2020. I was like, I don't do pop-ups at all, right? And I had a friend who lived out of state, like way out of state, and it had been months since I seen them. So they came to visit they came in town on my birthday, right? But as a surprise, which is fine. That is fine. As a surprise, that is fine, right? But still, if I surprise somebody, like I pull up in Florida, and I surprise people. But when I surprise people, I let them know that, hey, I am in Florida, are you busy, or I'm in town, such and such and such, or I'll be in town in like 20 minutes or something, just something like that. Just surprise. Don't surprise me by popping up at my house. Like, yeah, I'm going to let out one of those, oh my God, like it's crazy, such and such, if I see you through the peephole. But at the same time, that is overridden. It don't matter. At that point, it's still in the frontal lobe of my mind that why did you not let me know that you were here? Because what if I wasn't home and you were knocking on the door? Then what? You feel like you can just pop up at my place willy-nilly? Then what? Now, if you let me know that you're on the way and you're bringing somebody with you who I know and is a good friend that I haven't seen in a while, that's okay, because at least I know you're on the way. So if you show your ass up and you have the other friend with you and we all click, that's a surprise. I'm cool with that because you let me know. But if you randomly pop up, you were not an exception to my boundaries. You were not. Matter of fact, your ass would be on the other wall of another set of boundaries that I will establish that point in time immediately. So don't guess. Don't assume that you are the exception. Ask. If you ask, then you might not be, but you also might. And if the thought of that hurts your feelings, then just go ahead and assume that you are not a part of the exception. You are probably one of the main reasons. Because if I state something, like if you say something to me in a conversation and I state it, that, man, this is why I can't such and such, or this is why, then you are the reason why I'm stating it. You are the prime reason why I'm stating it. And it's not passive aggressive neither, because I'm stating it so you know I'm being straightforward and direct with you. And I'm probably looking you directly in the face when I say it. So that way you know how I feel. Open right there. Anybody, like, am I the only one like that? Am I the only one like that? I don't think I am. I don't believe so. Some of y'all got to be flowing with me on that one. Y'all know what I'm talking about. People just think that they use that as a way to overstep. Family does it too. Family is the prime ops that will do it. The main ops that will do it. You say something that you don't like, and they don't give a fuck. They're gonna do it because they feel like they're the exception, and the reason why you're saying it is probably because you're traumatized at something that they did years ago, and you don't like it now. But they don't see it that way. They're like, oh no, you're not talking about me. You're talking about one of your friends or something like that. No, motherfucker, you are it. You are the prime. You are the dictionary description of what I mean. So don't think because you are the R. Yes. Jeez. And that conversation just came up recently, which is why it was fresh on my mind. Oh, it was fresh. Oh my gosh. I'm not going to talk about it. I'm past it. I am past it. No, I'm not. I thought I was. Fuck it. There was one time. This one just popped in my head. So there was a time where I was, I guess, crushing on this woman, right? And she made a statement saying that, I like, and she was describing her type. I didn't ask her what her type was. I don't even think I cared at that point. I just knew that I had a crush on you. I didn't really care too much if you had a crush on me, type shit. So, haha, type shit. Anyway, that lets you know where I am located right now, for those who got it. But what was I saying? Okay, so she was stating her type, and she was like, I like men who, usually have a type of business about themselves. They move with intention when it comes to taking care of business. They have their own, and so on and so forth. They know how to treat a woman. And I said, okay, well, what about hobbies? I said, because you're stating, like, what you're stating is pretty typical. I said, but what about hobbies? Like, do you like a man that has hobbies? And then if so, what hobbies do you prefer that person has? I said, because you can have a hobby at selling drugs. You can have a hobby at dispersing crystal meth out of vending machines. You can have whatever kind of hobby that you want as you create it. So I said, as simple as games. If a guy has a hobby that's, he games every once in a while, and she said, oh no, that's immature. I said, well, it keeps them out of the street, and I believe it provides instinctive creativity. And she was like, no, that's very childish. Like, I believe kids play games. I said, okay. And for me, I game sometimes, right? Matter of fact, I get paid to game, and I'm not talking about on YouTube or Twitch, even though I do have a Twitch, but I'm talking about I actually get paid to do beta testing for video game developers like Activision with Call of Duty and EA Sports, things like that. But that was one thing, okay? I didn't include myself in the collective. I just heard you out, right? So then she states that she also doesn't like men who watch cartoons. And I said, well, what do you mean cartoons? Like Bugs Bunny and she was talking about, no, like Naruto and Attack on Titan or whatever it's called. And I said, why? And she said she feels like it's childish. Same thing with games. I said, so you don't like men who watch these things, but you do realize that there are grown men who are creating these things. So the grown men who are creating these things fit the description that you described about having a type of business about themselves, right? And that got into a whole kind of issue, but conversation wise, but I didn't include myself in the collective, right? I still asked. Because even though in the back of my mind, I was like, well, damn, she kind of just described me. The fuck? But it was still one of those, let me ask. So I said, so basically, I do this. Everything you said you don't like, I do that. Does that bother you? And she was like, oh, no. Like, that doesn't, no, I'm fine with that. Like, you do it, that's fine. So I was like, okay, cool. So it ended up being a double-ended crush, right? Until she popped up one day at my fucking house. That shit ended that day. And we had already stated, but she was one of those people that was like, I said what I said. And me being me, I said, and so did I. So don't push it because you're not going to like the way it's pushed back. And she tried it, and harsh reality kicked in. Please make your exit. It only took once. If I say I don't like it, don't do it. Don't push it. Don't push the boundaries, because I will. Okay. Yep. I'm past it now. Speaking of boundaries, second topic, hygiene. I am big on hygiene. Hygiene is a boundary for me. Like, hygiene is very, very big for me. Ladies, hygiene. Men, for the ladies, hygiene. And it's a big thing out there, and people are saying it, and it's true. If you can smell yourself, other people can too. And I understand, sometimes shit happens. You can't really deal with it at that moment, or it slips your mind because you got a lot of shit going on. Your focus is not there. I get it. I go through that shit too. Matter of fact, I keep my armpits shaved, right? I let some hair grow, but I keep my armpits shaved. I keep the lower area shaved too, because hair creates smell, right? So it don't create smell, but it holds on to smell. It holds on to scent. Bacteria creates the smell, and bacteria particles stick to hair that creates the scent, right? So I manscape, keep myself together, especially with career-wise, what I do, model and acting. Like, I keep myself together. So yes, it's very big for me, right? Which brings me to the title of this episode. Shower sex is necessary. Sometimes. Not all the time, because it's necessary sometimes, okay? Make it work somehow. Don't know how. If y'all both don't fit, have one person halfway out, other person halfway in, whatever. And the reason why I believe that is necessary sometimes is there are certain situations when you and a person are about to engage. Hormones have been festering, and y'all are just hot and ready like Little Caesar's pizza, no cardboard. Y'all are just ready. And together or individually, one of y'all is not the freshest. Could have had a rough day at work. Could have, just left the gym. Something body, you got something going on. Whatever it is, one of y'all is just not the freshest, and you don't have time to freshen up. Suggest the shower. I'm putting y'all on game. Suggest you take a shower together. Men, you get ready to go down on a woman, and it's not the ladies. You get ready to go down on a man, and it's not the whatever, the odor, whatever. Like, as far as just a long day type of stuff, whatever. Suggest the shower, okay? It'll save both of y'all embarrassment. It'll save both of y'all embarrassment. Plus, you get clean while being dirty at the same damn time, okay? Now, there's been times, and I'm not gonna say no names, but I can't say everyone, because there are people who haven't, but I was being told a story I was on TikTok live and I was in a panel and we were all just chit chatting. We all grown, right? Chit chatting and shit. And somebody was telling their story about how they were being involved with someone and they got ready to do some, some oral activities. And they said it slapped them in the face. And I was curious as to what they did about it. Like, how did they move forward? And they were like, I got to see it through. And I was like, oh, no, there's a better way to see it through than just that. So I was like, bro, why didn't you suggest a shower? I said, I mean, at least you can visually see that the person is getting clean, right? And they can see that you're getting clean. I said, and plus, you can actually see if people wash their feet, because apparently it's the thing that people don't wash their feet. And I don't know if this is offending anybody, but wash your damn feet. The water just hitting your feet is equivalent to you just stepping in a pool without the chlorine or any kind of cleaning chemicals. It's just equivalent to that. It's just tap water. Like the soap or whatever you use, that actually cleans. That's what removes the extremities from your follicles. That's just me, But there are people who sometimes have hygiene issues. And if that is a thing, then suggest that. If you really want it and you want to make sure y'all both are clean, shower it up. Now, be creative, because if that's be creative and be aware. Because if it's always that, if it's always one of those, the same person, and it's always not the way you would like it, then question about there may be something more serious going on. There may be something a little blurred on the lines on that one that you just can't see. And because if you always got to suggest a shower, then on their behalf, then yeah, maybe you should have a different discussion with them. Or even on your behalf, maybe you should have a different discussion with your damn self, because that's something only you know and only you can figure out. Okay. Even if you are dealing with different people and you always got to suggest a shower to them on their behalf, reevaluate the people that you were dealing with. How is their daily life? How do you see them on a day-to-day basis? Like, are they always, I don't know. Example, I mean, hell, I work a lot of fucking jobs. When I think about it, I work a lot of jobs. I do a lot of shit. I'm not finna state it all on here, but one of them, when I'm not in my preferred location at the moment, I work outside, and the sun is very, very fucking hot, right? I sweat. I have dirt from vehicles and shit like that on me. And it bothers me, the fact that when I get off work, I come in the house and I have another job to do, right? And that's usually my creative career job or just something like that. So I have that to do. So I can't take a shower right away because I got to be efficient. I got to use my time wisely. And it really bothers me because I go to the gym that night too, right? Now I'm at a standstill and I'm battling myself on, damn, I really want to take a shower and just get this whatever dirt off of me from today, being outside, the sweat, whatever it is that's been dried up, all of that. But even with that, I don't, because I don't want to also have to take another shower when I leave the gym. Taking 2 showers, like people take 2 showers, they do, but it's not a big enough time span for me to take those 2 showers. At that point in time, I have to be wise and say I'm just drying out my skin. I can apply moisturizer after both showers, but that's doing a lot for my skin. That will be overdoing things. I have to be smart about that too. So instead, I take a little horse bath, right? That's what it's called for those who may be like, what? That's what it's called. When you take a little quick, freshen up out the sink or whatever like that, that's what it's called. At least that's what I know it to be called. So I take just a quick one at times. Sometimes I stay late and I can't really get that before I go to the gym. But the thing is, I take so much care in my hygiene that even if I don't take one of those quick freshen ups and I just change in my gym clothes and go to the gym, I've asked many a times, I don't stink. I still don't smell like anything as far as like funk. If anything, I've gotten asked, what do I have on? And that just says a lot about my pheromones and how I take care of myself, which I appreciate. Thank you, sweetheart. But yeah, I don't know who the sweetheart is, I'm thinking, but maybe she does. Maybe she knows who she is. I don't know. I'm just speaking. But yes, hygiene is a very necessary big boundary step forward to me, and so is shower sex, depending who is listening to this and agree or disagree. Trust me, it can save your thought about somebody. It can save that first impression of that. It really can. I've had to do it before, and a few times in the past. So yeah, haven't had to do it recently at all. Which brings me into the next topic about how I'm on a hiatus on social media right now, except for business stuff. I still got to promote this podcast. I have to do other things, promote films and stuff like that. So I'm on a personal hiatus, and apparently so is my sex life. Lord, we gonna talk about this. So for me, it's not on purpose. And what I mean by that is, okay, some of y'all who know me that listen to this, y'all are going to yell at me. Y'all are going to yell at your phone, your screens, whatever it is you are listening to this part on. Y'all are going to yell or laugh or shake your head, whatever. For me, it is not on purpose. But at the same time, I'm picky. And some of y'all be seeing how many offers I get right on TikTok live, right on social media. Y'all see it in the comments. Y'all see it while we're on live. All of that, right? But my thing is, I don't know you like that. And it's been like that for 3 years, right? Jesus, since 2021, September or October 2021. That's how long it's been. For real. So, yeah, it has taken a hiatus, and I wish it didn't. Because there has been some who I would just go ahead, downright dick down. But at the same time, it's never the ones that I really like as well. Like ones that I would be really willing to. I don't know. Like, I get told I have an intimidating factor with me. And I don't know, like it's in person, like on social media, like, yeah, it's whatever. But in person, I've been told that I'm very intimidating, or I can be intimidating. I don't know. But usually the women that have offered or have tried to aren't the ones that I, would just be willing to. Because I don't fuck everything that moves. I'm very careful about my decisions. The way I choose is probably so fucking hilarious. If I can see us out in public standing next to each other and me not keep 2 arm lengths away from you, then there's a high chance. If I can stand your voice, then there's a high chance, if I listen to your voice and it's just like, okay, I don't think anything big of it, then there's a low chance. If I'm cautious about if people would see us in public and think that we're a couple, and I'm like, nah, then there's a very low chance. Very, 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 very hell no of a low chance, right? If I don't give a fuck if people see us as a couple or not, or think that we are, then yeah, there's a somewhat high chance. depending. This don't go for friends. This is just like if I'm interested in you and I know you're interested in me, kind of thing like that, But yeah, that's how I typically choose. But there's been several who I've thought about possibly, or yeah, I would, if given the opportunity. And it's like, oh, I don't know, because you are such an amazing person, and I don't want to ruin the dynamic of the friendship. And in my mind, I'd be like,
Fuck that dynamic.
but anyway, but then the positive side comes back and it's like, yeah, this is some teenage shit. This is some shit that you hear from whatever. But the crazy shit is, it's always one of those nights where drinking or something like that is involved, and a text message is received from me. Like, I receive a text message and it says otherwise. And then at that moment, I'm just like, the fuck? Because, see, this is, you telling me this now after I've detached from you in that way. So why would you, I'm not someone that spins the block. I do not spin the block. But at the same time, if we ain't ever been together, we haven't like really ever done whatever, then I don't consider that spinning the block. But if I've also detached from you at that point, then there is no way. You better stay on my good side. You better stay in that lingering thought. There's a few who I consider the one that got away. Well, I can't say a few. There's two who I consider the one that got away. And I don't mean that as far as sex stuff. I mean that as far as two people who we've always just been cool. Nothing has ever happened, and we've admitted to liking each other in the past. This is old shit, by the way. This is like high school shit. Notice that we've always liked each other, right? But we've never attempted to pursue each other. Don't know why. Not even threatened to ruin the dynamic of our relationship or friendship or nothing like that. We just never pursued each other. And I don't know if it's because really know how to take the steps to move in that direction or not. But it just, that Katy Perry song, The One That Got Away, has always been in my head when I first heard that shit about those two people. But like I said, that was like high school shit. Damn, that's been a long time ago. That's been about 20, almost 20. God damn, I'm old. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. My knees still work. Speaking of knees working, y'all went out like last month with a friend, old high school friend, right? One of my best friends. And we were out with her sister and her sister's husband, and they were celebrating their anniversary. And Lord have mercy, they played some music that they know I dance to, and I try to. And for Florida, we're in Florida, right? I'm in Florida right now, and it's the bop, like how you bop, like Wu Tang, get low in your squat, to get that shit, right? And then like if you drop, yeah, I dropped, and I had to grab something to keep myself from falling when I dropped. I said, how is it that just happened? And people saw, and two girls was dancing next to us and dancing next to me, and yeah, they saw, and they turned around and started laughing. I couldn't do nothing but laugh at myself as well, because I was like, oh shit, that did not go as planned. That was highly unexpected. So since that day, I've been doing better mobility training to make sure that shit does not happen again, because my knees apparently took a hiatus with my sex life. And see, I want to say something, but I feel like I shouldn't, because they might listen to this. I don't really, I don't really get too much fucks. So as far as that, it's taking a hiatus. Out of all of the offers I've received, and are still receiving, I think there's one or two people at this moment that I would break that unfortunate but fortunate celibacy for, and only because and this is big for me. This is big for me. I don't trust people, right? I don't really trust anybody. I really don't. I trust myself because I know what I'm capable of, and I know my own efforts and how I treat myself. But I don't really trust other people when it comes to how they would treat me. I've done it in the past, and everyone that I have had trust for has lost my fucking trust because of some type of whatever they decided to do out of how they felt about whatever the fuck. And instead of just coming to me and talking it out and venting it, they whatever. So, I forgive, but I don't forget. We may or may not still be cool. There's several fucking people, but at the same time, that level of trust to where I tell you my personal shit, for real, will not happen again. Everything will be just barely superficial, maybe a little deep in conversation, but most of the shit will be superficial from that point on. But there's one or two, I don't know because I'm not really thinking that deep right now, but there's one or two women who I would trust to be cool about that, as far as us engaging and it being, if things are what I don't even know what the fuck I'm trying to say, honestly, because I'm trying to say it very intellectually instead of just being out with it. But I don't even know if I was to say out with it, like how would I even say it? And yeah, like I would trust. And I think that's what's giving me the whole meh, because I keep saying the word trust. I would have good belief that nothing would be a setup in terms of them, right? I feel like it wouldn't be like a setup type of situation. Everything would be genuine and flow organically, and definitely flow the way I would like it to. But yeah. Chirp, 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 chirp. Hi, this is Future Mike, post-editing Mike, coming back in and say, fuck it. I'm going to just say it. There's probably about one or two women who I wouldn't mind putting through a mattress right now. Maybe those one or two, maybe it's one person with two personalities, whoever, I don't know. Maybe they know her, she knows who she, her, they are. Or maybe her, she don't know who they are. Back to the rest of the fucking episode. What am I even doing at this point? So, but that's one of those, maybe for another time. It's not something I'm going to keep y'all updated on. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I doubt it. I'm not going to keep y'all updated on that at all. That's personal, and I'm a personal person. So me even saying that shit might get cut out of this episode, or it might not. I don't know. Speaking of getting cut out of episodes, how about I inform y'all about the massive amount of OnlyFans requests that I get? Here's the funny thing about it. I am not making OnlyFans at all, right? I'm not. And some of y'all listening to this have probably been one of those people to try to promote me to make one. So that's the funny shit about this. I'm not making it, but it has crossed my mind. Making one has indeed crossed my mind. Only because the pitches that y'all have given me, or some of y'all have given me, sounds very, very interesting. And it's mainly because y'all say, Mike, if you was to make OnlyFans, you would make a lot of fucking money. And thank you for the confidence. I think, I think I look good, but it's also one of those, I think I'm cringy. So I don't know. I've been called a fucking unicorn before. I've been called a lot of rare things, rare sightings. I've been compared to Bigfoot and a mystical forest. I've been called majestic as fuck. All of this shit. But to me, I think I'm just someone who takes care of themselves. And that's it. So I don't know. But as far as creating OnlyFans, it's so cringy, the thought of me making one for the public or even for subscribers. It's just so cringy. And the suggestion has been, well, you can post some of the photos from my photo shoots that I've already have on the OnlyFans site. And, ain't got to be nothing crazy like that. I'm like, you know what? Yeah, because those are already on social media. But then there's going to be more expectations. People are going to want to see more. They're going to make requests. And if I don't want to deal with all of that extra attention on me. I can't. The DMs that I receive right now are already outlandish. From both genders. Like, why? I ain't got no issue with what you do, but I'm not into it. And I receive a lot of shit, which is why I don't check them all anymore. Should be wild. But yeah, it has crossed my mind though. It's crossed my mind in the fact of, damn, I would make a lot of fucking money if I did some OnlyFans, but I would not fully expose myself. Like, I even had the idea, because I get compliments about my voice. Let me make sure it's a little more top tier for y'all. So I get compliments about my voice, right? And usually it's good compliments as far as, oh, your voice is very soothing, it's very relaxing, it's very sexy. If you should do audiobooks, you should do something of the sort, because people like hearing my voice, right? It puts them to sleep. Regardless, men and women on my lives have fallen asleep to my voice, and it's not anything. When I say men, it's nothing like that. It's the fact of there are certain vibrational tones that relaxes the person without them even knowing, and can actually put them to sleep, right? So I had the idea of doing vocal OnlyFans, where I set up my microphone like I have now, and I set up my camera or my phone or whatever like that, and I just record myself talking, and I just look into the camera the entire time. It'll be short videos, but it'll be that eye contact and just the voice that will get y'all twist and turn into knots and clench your pearls and whatever y'all do. Tuck hair behind ear. But at the same time, it's still the principle of it being OnlyFans. And it's the rep that OnlyFans have gotten. And one main thing, the main thing that keeps me from creating it is my career. Hands down, it's my career. Because it will stop being taken seriously. And this is one of those, oh, well, that's an assumption. You don't really know that. I know from others. I'm basing this result off of other statistics. And I'm not putting myself in that situation. That's one of those where I'm fine with not knowing personally. Usually I'm rebellious as hell, and I'm always like, well, that's how that ended up for you. We'll see how it ends up for me. Your life experience is your life experience. Mine is mine. We may not have the same end result. But for this one, this is one that I'm cool not finding out about. Me being the type of person I am in my career, I feel like that shit would hinder the hell out of the role that I get, and everything like that. Like, example, I was in Wakanda Forever, right? Now, imagine me having OnlyFans and being in that type of movie, like they want me back for like another Marvel movie like that. What that's a huge hell no, because number one, it's owned by Disney, right? So that's not a good affiliation in that scene. You feel me? And it's like, well, how would they know? People have a way of finding out shit, especially if I become very, very, very popular on that site. Yeah, it's gonna be discovered. It's gonna be discovered, and that's gonna hinder a lot of goals and achievements that I plan for myself. I can't. Me dressing in suits, owning a entire tequila brand, and then the people aren't able to differentiate the fact of, is he getting paid like notoriety for his tequila brand and his acting, or is it because he is halfway naked on OnlyFans? That I don't want that thought. Plus being a parent, I'd rather not. Plus being a parent, I will not. I don't need anything popping up on. Nah, I'm good. Like, I used to exotic dance. I probably shouldn't even said that shit. But no, I said that shit. I used to be an exotic dancer in my early 20s, right? And my one thing was, don't put me on a flyer. Just don't put me on a flyer. Don't let people know that I'm doing this shit. We know I'm doing this shit. So if we know I'm doing this shit, that is fine. Others don't need to know. If they're not at the shows, cool. I don't care. Don't put me on a flyer. I was put on a flyer. I stopped. One show and I stopped. Oh, I didn't do one show, only one show, but I did one more show and that was it, because I asked that to be put on the flyer and I was put on the flyer. And the reason why I didn't want to get put on the flyer is because I have a child, and she was much younger back then. But and my mom didn't know either, and she still doesn't unless she listens to this. Anyway, but those flyers were passed out around the city. I don't want people who I'm trying to work business with to see my face on this. Like, yeah, y'all are doing it for advertising purposes, and yeah, like, I'm helping generate money. People are finding out about, but nah, let that be word of mouth in some kind of aspect. Don't do that. So yeah, it's that thing right there. It's the fact of it will, I believe, for me, maybe not for anyone else, but for me, it will hinder a lot. So with that being said, stop with the request, because it ain't happening. It ain't happening. Y'all want me to create an OnlyFans yet? Nah. I was thinking about having a guest on this episode, but I think I'm going to create a Discord and have the guest for the third episode. One of my friends actually a couple of my friends who've heard the first episode have already asked about being a guest. So I may have them. But if I have a guest, that means me conversating is going to be shorter. The topics are going to be shorter. And that way the episode won't be too long for me to have a guest on. Because right now we're almost at an hour. And damn, I've been talking for almost an hour again. We had like 53 minutes. Like shit. But yeah, I think... And please provide feedback. If y'all listen to this, please provide feedback. I'm recording this. Usually I record these on a Wednesday. Or I started recording these on a Wednesday. But I'm doing it on a Tuesday today. So, yeah, it's going to come out on Sunday at 9 in the morning. I'm going to schedule it out for that. And these are available on Spotify and YouTube. If you have YouTube Music, you can find it on there too. Once it's on YouTube, it's on YouTube Music. So you can find it on there. It comes out Sunday mornings at 9 a.m. So I would just recommend not listening to these before church if you go to church, unless, you want your spirit to let you know that this is why you're in church. Because you're listening to shit like this. Aside from there, please provide feedback and let me know if y'all like it. Let me know suggestions or whatever, how y'all feel about some of the topics, how y'all feel about some of the scenarios and situations. I'm not saying no names on here. That's one thing. I am not name dropping. None of that. But how do y'all feel about the OnlyFans thing? I know somebody gonna be. So it's gonna be at least one person that's like, yeah, you should definitely create OnlyFans. And see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I also think about the fact of if I was to create an OnlyFans, and I think this is just me with modeling too. So, because I've done a few nude shoots, right? And it's always in my mind, what are y'all gonna do with my photos after this? Like, y'all are just gonna edit them, right? Like, what are y'all gonna do? Like, and I get my mind out of that because it bothers me. It's disturbing. It gets me. And even with the whole OnlyFans thing, like there are even some friends, some guys who I associate with or whatever like that, even on live, and they're like, bro, you should definitely create an OnlyFans, bro. Like you'll make a lot of money, bro. Like you'll make bank. And I understand the whole thing of letting another guy be like, hey, bro, I see you out there doing your shit, bro. You gonna make some bank, bro. You look good. You gonna make some bank, bro. That's fine, whatever. But my thing is, what are you gonna do, like with the videos I put out? Like, what are you gonna do with the photos? Like, huh? But it's also out of sight, out of mind. I don't give a fuck. You do you. I'm still making the bread for it. You know, I'm still making the money from it. So, but nah, it ain't happening. It is not happening. Now, I do like the thought of a woman pleasing herself to me. Like that's one thing. Like, hey, you looking at me? You think about me? And you doing okay? Let me hear. Wait, this episode is over. We almost hit another topic. This episode is ending now. Thank y'all for listening. We will see. I said we gonna talk about dreams. Told y'all we're gonna forget about that shit. But who knows? Maybe next time. I don't know. Maybe my guests will want to talk about that. But anyway, this has been the flow of an Aquarius, and these have been situations and topics from the thoughts of an Aquarius. Thank y'all for joining. Thank y'all for tuning in. I hope y'all have a phenomenal day, a phenomenal week, and y'all can hear from me next time. 'Cause Panther Forte out.